pretty special, huh?
Okay, let's go see the waves.
Ma.
Waves. You can't go down there. You definitely cannot go down there. Hi, buddy.
Who's calling, Mama?
No, this way. Let's talk about work ethic, about hustle for a moment. The reason I woke up in Malibu this weekend was not because I'm rich and have a Malibu beach house. It's not even because my friends are rich and have a Malibu beach house. However, I do have some smart friends. One in particular who was responsible for the Malibu beach house, a guy by the name of Ryan Groos. Now, I mentioned him briefly in the last vlog, but I gotta tell you a little bit more about this guy. Ryan and I are gonna make a little run to the Malibu Country Mart, look for some sandwiches.
It's gonna be a nightmare to parallel park this thing. The deal is it's public parking, but there's all the neighbors kind of agreed to just, if it's your house, it's your spot.
Beautiful color. Camaro,
Pontiac.
Pontiac.
Thanks about this Hot Wheel.
Yeah, these are seriously like
Hot Wheel cars.
real life Hot Wheels.
Well, honey, have a great
All this stuff is. Look at this stuff. Who goes to movie theaters anymore?
I don't know. They sit around and just text each other from their bedrooms.
Right. Got the sandwiches. So I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. You can't see it on the clock there, but it's 4:40 in the morning. I'm headed to New York this morning. I meant to print out all this music last night, but I didn't.
Flight team seats for landing.
I played the 55 bar, my usual haunt with Nir Felder and Obed Calver and Yannick Gwizdala. The real reason I was there was to play the Blue Note the next night, and it wasn't my show. It was called the Loop Loft All-Stars. So you might be thinking, what are the Loop Loft All-Stars? It was Eric Harland on drums, Nate Smith on drums, Aaron Comas from the Spin Doctors on drums, Minu Sinelu on percussion. Mark Kelly on bass from The Roots, Doug Womble on guitar, David Cook on keys, Shayna Steele on vocals. Who am I forgetting? Myself. All of us participate and make loops for artist-branded loops for this company called the Loop Loft, a company founded by my college buddy Ryan Groos. That's Ryan with my then girlfriend, now wife, Nora. This is Ryan, like, first week of college. This is the very first gig I played in Boston. We played at a pizza parlor. I can't remember the name of the pizza place. It was on Newbury Street, and that's Ryan and his drum kit. Me all dressed up. We're both so young and blurry, but we met the very first day of college. Both of us were brand new to Boston, to Berkeley. We wound up in a small little room together with about 20 people maximum, and they had everybody go around and say like where you were from, what you played, what you were intending to study, and also maybe any music you were into. I mentioned liking Chris Potter, and Ryan got enthusiastic because he knew about Chris Potter because there's a trumpet player named Ryan Kaiser from Iowa, and Ryan, I always joke, he knows every musician ever to come out of Iowa. That became our initial bond. It was like, oh, because probably the other 18 people in the class they certainly didn't jump when I said Chris Potter. So after that class was over, that little orientation or whatever the heck it was, Brian was like, you want to go get pizza? And I was like, sure. So we went and got pizza across the street. And that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, as they say. Here's us on a hiking trip. That's Ryan right there. Let's see, where is this? Ryan and I also made the CD for Berkeley. I mean, we were part of it's a compilation, Summa Cum Jazz Volume 2. Check this out. We did this song of mine called The Last Night. It was Stefan Schultz's quartet, the guitar player, but that's me on saxophone and Ryan Groos on drums and Mark Kelly on bass. Mark Kelly is the bass player in The Roots on Jimmy Fallon. He also was just with us in New York for this Loop Loft event. We both lived in New York City for a long time. We were hustling. We were doing whatever we had to do to survive. And after a series of jobs in New York, Ryan worked for Nickelodeon, he worked for Atlantic Records, he worked for Revlon doing digital asset management. He ended up working for a marketing firm in Boston. Long story short, it wasn't his dream job. It wasn't what he saw himself doing forever. He wasn't satisfied. So he used his lunch breaks at that last company to go home and record a drum loop and post it to his website, ryangroos.com. And he just started as a blog, and he started doing that every day at lunchtime, posting a drum loop or something about drums, and little by little it built up a following, and then he started offering some of them for sale, and it grew, and then eventually he founded what is now the Loop Loft, and it became artist branded loops. But it started with one small step in the right direction, or at least in a different direction. Who knew at the time if it was the right direction? So what's all of this got to do with the beach house? Well, just that he's a smart guy. He spends a lot of money on business expenses. He puts them all on the same credit card, and the credit card basically had enough points to pay for the beach house while he was out here for meetings. And so we had this reunion with a bunch of old friends, including a guy named Jonah Smith that Ryan and I both used to play in a band with, and Yannick Gwizdala, another old friend, also a Loop Loft artist, also a guy who knows a thing or two about hustle, also a guy who showed up with his drone and gave me some of the footage, so gratuitous as it may be, I gotta use it. Moral of the story, you can always create your own path. Doesn't mean it will work out, but there's no reason you shouldn't try.
So many things had to happen, of course, with me and you vlogging, but it's the first time I'm hijacking the Bob Reynolds vlogging camera. I don't actually have anything clever to say, but...
Yeah. That's such a dad question. Is it very loud? Yes. How loud is it? Yeah.
I'm going to do a bigger reveal where I put it down there and then come straight up so we get the mountains, so that's a good one to film.